Greetings and welcome to Causeless Joy Tarot. We are here today to do a reading for the sign of Virgo for the month of October 2017. Today we are using two decks. The primary deck is Legacy of the Divine by Cyril Marchetti, and then the oracle card will come from Colette Baron Reed's Wisdom of the Oracle. So let's go ahead and get started with the Virgo reading for October. Calling on the divine, calling on all that loves and surrounds the sign of Virgo. Asking for perfect clarity, perfect wisdom. As we look at the energy for October 2017, for the sign of Virgo, giving thanks to all that is, for the perfection that is this life. Deeply grateful for the opportunity to read for the sign of Virgo. And again, giving thanks to all that is for perfect clarity and wisdom. Calling on my guides, teachers, helpers to oversee and overlight this reading for the sign of Virgo for October 2017 as we look at the energy that is coming in for the beloved Virgos. Also, if you know your rising or your moon sign, you can also take a look at that video as well for additional clarity around the energies coming in for October for the sign of Virgo. All right, Virgo, that feels pretty good. So let's go ahead and take a look at your cards. I am doing a Celtic cross for the month of October for all signs. So let's see what we have in store for Virgo. All right, and at the very bottom of the deck here for Virgos, we do have the Page of Wands coming up in the reverse. So this Page of Wands for Virgos is that fiery, youthful energy, potentially surrounding messages that are coming in as well for the sign of Virgo. We'll take a look at the rest of your cards and see if we can get a better idea here about the energy and the signs that will be coming in for Virgo. So at the very heart of the matter for Virgos coming into the month of October, we do have the Three of Cups coming up in the reverse. So this Three of Cups, as you can see here, is a card of celebration. It's being in a position where you're really excited about a collaboration of some sort. We can see that there are three cups here at the bottom of this particular card. So it is coming up in the reverse. So that to me is signifying that there may be a potential for Virgos to feel as if they're not getting exactly what they've signed up for, whether that be in a job, a relationship, in some area of your life. I'm sensing that there's this impression or this feeling that you're not winning. You're not getting what you signed up for here. And what's crossing this particular card is the Four of Swords. So this is the rest card. So what I'm picking up is that there's been a lot of effort going into really making this victory happen. And now you're at the point where either you're being forced to rest, and this could this could be something in regards to your physical health, or it is something that there's rest required here, right? If there's a sense that you're not getting what you've put a lot of effort into, and what's crossing you is the need to rest, that is really, for me, that's really signifying that to relax those efforts back a little bit, reel it in, and allow yourself to just be. You know, I know that may be something that's easier said than done, depending on your circumstance. For instance, if there's a building burning next door, you know, it resting when there's a fire or an urgent situation seems almost impossible. But I'm really feeling that to say that this is necessary for the sign of Virgo. There's a need to back away from whatever you've been very passionately pursuing. There's a need to allow that the timing that it needs to manifest. You know, there's this thing that, you know, when the time is right, you know, when the circumstances are right, when the atmosphere is right, when the timing is right, again, things will come into their correct flow, into their correct beingness. But here at this time, I'm feeling to say, really, for the sign of Virgo, that this is a time of letting the reins go a little bit and allowing yourself the space to simply be. All right. So what we have next up is what's beneath you. And this is what's going to help you get through. I've been seeing a lot of knights coming in, either in the above or below position. So this particular knight is coming in beneath you. This is what's driving you. This is what will help you get through this need, perhaps to let go or relax your position a bit on attempting to make things happen. This Knight of Coins is this night comes in with messages in regards to your financial well-being, your how you're showing up in the world, how you're making your money. There are messages coming in. This night is coming in the reverse. So again, there could be perhaps messages or information or data coming in about your financial well-being that may very well be upside down. You know, it may not be what you expected it to be. And again, Virgos, I'm drawn back here to the Three of Cups in the reverse. The cards really work together with one another to allow us to get a better view, if you will, of the energies that are available for us at any given time. So here, when I see this Three of Cups in the reverse, I see that there is a need for you to rest. And then I also see that there's the potential for data or information to come in that may not be exactly what you're hoping for there. Just something to be mindful of. And there are many ways that this reading could potentially play out in your own personal life. Again, these are general readings in nature. They are meant to give an overview, a general perspective on the energy that will be available for any particular sign. So keeping that in mind, let's go ahead and take a look at the next card, which is the card that is actually over the sign of Virgo. And this is what's at the top of your mind. Again, we do have here the Four of Coins coming up in the reverse. Now, as you can see, this guy is really holding on to his coins here. His coins are important to him. He's very keen to make sure that no one is coming in to take his coins or to reduce his coins too much. He's very watchful, very mindful of everything to do with his coins. This card is coming up in the reverse, and it's coming up at the top of your mind, or what's showing up prominently in your mind in the month of October. That again is also in line with the rest of the cards that I see in this primary row here. We have the Four of Coins in the reverse, we have the Three of Cups in the reverse, and we have the Knight of Coins in the reverse. For me, and then the rest card is signifying that there is a need to rest from this reversed energy of finances. Whatever's going on in your personal finances, there's a need to step back to allow things to unfold in their perfect natural way, and for you to be in a more accepting, a more open, and a more receptive position as it relates to this. Now, again, I'm feeling to say that in many instances, for the most part, this level of being, this level of allowing requires a great deal of fortitude, of understanding that no matter what shows up in your life, in terms of your finances, in terms of your relationships, whatever's happening in your experience, does not define you as a person. Okay? And I know that, much of life is just the opposite of that. Many of us look to our finances to, determine our worth, to determine how well off we are as it compares to other people. But again, here I'm really feeling a sense that there feels to me like some financial constraints for the sign of Virgo in the month of October, perhaps more than you're typically used to, perhaps even. But you're going to be fine here. And the advice from Spirit is to rest and to trust that in the perfect timing, these things will turn themselves around and you will be in a better position to continue to reach your goals. So here in the recent past, we do have the Seven of Wands coming up in the reverse. So somewhere along the way, there's been, in the recent past, there's been this sense of not being as watchful, not being as careful, and as observant. The angel just fell down on your reading here, and that is my special angel. So I'm going to allow that angel to remain there, so that that energy can go ahead and help balance out this central energy here. So again, as I was stating, the Seven of Wands is coming up in the reverse in your recent past. This is a card of evaluation. So somewhere along the way recently here, there's been a decrease in perhaps you've been overlooking the obvious, is what I'm feeling to say here. And I know that that can seem a little harsh, and my apologies if that does come across as harsh. That is never my intent to be harsh, but that is the way I'm feeling to say that in this moment, that there's been this overlooking of the obvious, this unwillingness to really evaluate carefully what your options are and what the outcomes are, weighing the pros and cons, reading the small print. So somewhere in the distant or in the recent past, there's been this and perhaps this lack of evaluation is what has led to the reversals here in the central role as it relates to your finances. Whatever the case may be for you personally, this is, again, just an idea about the energy that's recently been affecting your current position. So in the very near future, we do have the Ace of Swords coming up in the reverse as well. The Ace of Swords is a card of new beginnings. The Ace of Swords also speaks to wisdom and right thinking, right-minded thinking is what I'm drawn to say here. Now, in the near future, we do have the Ace of Swords coming up in the reverse. And again, this whole central area here is really giving me a very staticky vibration. These central cards are feeling very staticky to me in terms of your way of thinking, how that thinking has perhaps generated some a change of events in your life that is causing you some financial distress is the wrong word, financial concerns. All right, let's move on now to the how you're seeing yourself. Now, interestingly enough, you're seeing yourself as the Ace of Cups here. You're seeing yourself as one who's able to handle your emotions. You're seeing yourself as one who's able to respond in a very dignified and very loving way, which is a wonderful thing. And it's especially wonderful considering the other energy that I'm picking up here as your central focus. You are still able to come off in a very dignified, a very mature, and a very positive way, despite what you're experiencing. So for some of you out there, even if this proves to be exactly what you're experiencing in terms of financial setbacks or delays, you're still very dignified with your emotions. And I just think that is going to be a very wonderful and a very helpful way for you to approach situations in the month of October. So next up, we have your environment. This is what's influencing your environment. We do have the Magician coming up in the reverse. So the Magician is a card, an energy that reflects having what you need in order to do what you need to do. Now, interestingly enough, that is also the definition of abundance. Your ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. So this is coming up in the reverse. It's coming up in an environmental position here. It could also reflect your friends, family, anyone who's close to you. So The Magician, even though it's in the reverse, is still a very powerful major arcana card. So the advice here from Spirit is for you to stay open, to receive the information, the tools that you need to move beyond this staticky energy here, and resting from worrying, resting from doubting, resting from fear will facilitate this energy, will help you to be more receptive to the tools and the resources that you need that are indeed around you. All right. So next up we have your hopes and fears, and in that position we are showing the Ten of Wands in the reverse. So for your hopes and fears, you're really hoping that this is not going to be a long-term continuous process that you're going through. As you can see, this guy here is carrying these sticks. He's bent down to the ground. He's really tired of having carried this load, but he still has his head up. He's still moving forward. He's still doing what needs to be done in order to change his circumstance. Again, this Ten of Wands is coming up in the reverse, and whenever I see tens in the reverse, it always speaks to me of the change. Tens are completion, so it speaks to the change, but it also speaks of the turning around, of the getting past the burdens and beginning to live life from a place of prosperity, abundance, openness, and freedom. Okay? Now, your last card, your final outcome card here is the Queen of Coins in the reverse. Again, another indication of financial constraints, another indication that there is this potential for life to show up in a way where it appears that you're not being as abundant, you're not being as lucrative, you're not being as free flowing as you typically are, Virgo. But again, I am truly feeling that this card is really what's making me feel a sense of okayness despite what's going on. This Ace of Cups is telling me that you are able to master your emotions regardless to what's going on. I'm getting the image of one of these people who, they could have the whole world working against them, and they'd still show up with a smile on their face. They'd still show up and try to make things better. And that's the way I'm feeling about Virgos in the month of October. So again, there's this need to rest from worrying, and there's this need to really lean into your strength in terms of your emotional capabilities here. All right, so that does conclude the reading for Virgo for the month of October. Let's go ahead now and draw a guidance card from Colette Baron Reed's deck, calling on spirit, guides, angels, teachers, and helpers to give us one additional card. There is what I was about to say, but there it just jumped right out at us. And you received all that glitters. So this card is really perfect for your reading for the month of October, Virgos. What this card is saying to you is that all that glitters is not gold. We were just talking about these financial constraints. It wouldn't be beyond belief for you to look at people around you or circumstances around you and begin to compare yourself. Begin to say, well, they have this, that, and the third, and I don't have anything, or I don't have enough. and they have all of this other stuff. But pulling me back to this Ace of Cups, what you have is priceless. What you're able to exude in times of hardship is priceless. So some of the things that you may be looking at to measure your actual worth is just not worth, it's just all that glitters isn't gold, right? Also drawn to the very faint picture of someone overseeing this pile of gold. You have everything that you need, and you'll get through the month of October in perfect order. All right? So that does conclude the reading for Virgos for the month of October. Thank you very much for joining me here, and I do welcome you to join me again in November. And namaste.